everyone, thank you so much for being here. Today's video is going to be a little look at some of the books on my bookshelf that I think are super pretty. Now this isn't by any means an exhaustive list of the prettiest books on my bookcase, because there are many that I think are super pretty, but these are just a few that I thought I would mention. So first up we have the Penguin cloth-bound classics edition of Jane Eyre. And as you can see, it's very pretty. It's the same on the back as it is on the front, and it has one of these ribbons that you can use to mark your page. I haven't actually read this edition, but I have read Jane Eyre a number of times. It is about a lady who is a little bit plain, and she becomes a governess to Mr. Rochester's children or wards. And there's a little bit of a love story that goes on in this book. I mean, this one probably doesn't need much of a synopsis. It's a classic. It's by Charlotte Bronte, by the way, I didn't mention that. And I just think that this one is really pretty, and it's my favourite classic. So there you go. Next up, I'm going to mention two books in the same series. So these are The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. And this is possibly a little bit unconventional because they're not necessarily pretty books, but I really like them. So this is the cover of The Way of Kings, and it goes round onto the back. And then this is the cover for Words of Radiance, and it wraps around to the back. And I really think that they're very pretty. To begin with, the covers are, but then there is some beautiful artwork. So this is what would be, I suppose, the end pages of a hardback, except this is a paperback, but this is a drawing of one of the characters in the series. And then there are illustrations throughout the book. Let me just see if I can find one. So like that, so just pencil drawings. And then of course there are maps as well there. So yeah, a little bit unconventional in terms of pretty books, but I really like them. Next up we have got Summer Wars Parts 1 and 2 by Mamoru Hosoda. Art by Ikura Sugimoto, and character design by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. These are Japanese anime books. I think these are the translated versions. So this is the cover for part 1, and this is the cover for part 2. The reason I picked these books out, even though I really do like the cover art, is just because the anime itself is just, I suppose, is this anime or is it manga? I don't know. Either way, it's so pretty. I mean, this is exactly the kind of art style that I like in a graphic novel, and I'm just randomly picking pages, by the way. It's not any specific predetermined pages, but I just think that they're really pretty. Now, I haven't read these yet, but I have seen the film, which I loved and was the reason that I picked these up. I actually got these in Tokyo while I was over there last year, 2017, and I just thought, you know, I love books and I cannot go to Tokyo and not come back with some graphic novels. So I picked these up because, first of all, they were translated into English so that I'd actually be able to read them, and second of all, because I really liked the film and I didn't know where else to start with manga, really. So I thought I'd pick up something that I'm already familiar with and know already that I'm going to really enjoy. But even though they're translated into English, it is a left to right. So in the UK, you'd have the spine on the left, but in Japan, you have the spine on the right. So they are that way round, the Japanese way round, but I haven't read them yet. I plan to. Really looking forward to it, but I want to share them with you because they're just so pretty. Next, very different type of book. It's The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Again, I haven't read this copy, but I have read The Hobbit a couple of times. First of all, let's take a minute to just look at the cover with gold trim and the picture on the front. It's beautiful. Who is this? It's illustrated by Alan Lee, and it's just super, super pretty. I got this for Christmas one year, I believe. Pretty sure my parents, did they not? I thought my parents had written in it when they gave it to me, but they haven't. Anyway, let's try and find some of the beautiful illustrations. There's one. And another. And another. There's Gollum there, I think. And that's a really pretty one. So I think that this is just so, so pretty. And it's a really good story as well. I just realised that I didn't give you synopses for either Stormlight Archive or Summer Wars. So let me just go back and do that. So the Stormlight Archive, it's a little bit difficult to tell you what it's about because it is an epic fantasy series that is currently 3 books long and eventually will be 10 books long. And so there's a lot that goes on in these books that I don't really want to tell you too much about because spoilers, but essentially it's set in this world of Roshar that is plagued by high storms. The high storms come at various times but regularly, and they're really, really devastating. So life on this planet has evolved to be able to survive these high storms. And this series follows a group of characters. So far there are 3 main protagonists, Kaladin, Shallan and Dalinar. Each of the 3 books that are out so far follows one of those characters in that order. So The Way of Kings is Kaladin, Words of Radiance is Shallan, and Oathbringer is Dalinar. And it sort of follows their story and their character development, and character development is definitely the core of these books, and the characters are, they're so well developed and so interesting as people, and you just get really, really invested in them. So that's the Stormlight Archive. And then Summer Wars, like I said, I haven't actually read the books, but I have watched the film, and essentially the film centres around this social media that starts to develop its own intelligence and is trying to be quite destructive in the real world. This social media it's kind of set in our future where social media controls everything. So you have your access to your money through social media, you keep in touch with your friends via this social media, everything happens via this specific social media platform, and it kind of follows the story of what would happen if that platform started to take over. So it's really, really interesting. If you don't want to read the books, then I definitely recommend checking out the film. It's a really great film. And The Hobbit, of course, is about a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins who goes on a grand adventure. And I don't think I need to say any more about this book, do I? I mean, everybody knows about The Hobbit by now, surely. One word on the films. Not a fan. Not a fan of the films. I'm not going to say any more than that, but not a fan. Love the book. Not a fan of the films. This next book is a little bit of a different one, but it's on my bookshelf and it is really, really pretty, and I couldn't not pick this one up. So it's called A Flower Fairies Journal. I don't know who this is. Oh, it's by J.R. Marn and Co. I don't know. It's a kid's book, and it's not by any specific author, I don't think. But like I said, it's a little bit of a weird choice, but look how pretty it is inside. I mean, this is a great book for kids. I loved this when I was like 11. It's got sort of pull-outs. This is a map of Sussex that you pull out of the book there. And let's find another good page. There's this one with lots of pictures of butterflies on it, and you've got this little pull-out here. It's got like a butterfly's wing. I mean, not really, but you know. As a kid, you believe it's a fairy's wing. You believe it. Some really pretty artwork in here. There's this page, which is really pretty with a pull-out letter. So, a bit of a weird inclusion in this list, but I said that this was pretty books from my bookcase, and this is on my bookcase, and it's super pretty. Can I tell you what it's about? No. Is it really a story? No. Is it pretty? Yes. The last book, on a similar sort of vein, this isn't really a novel or anything. This is The Art of Howls Moving Castle, which, if you have seen any of my other videos, you will know that Howls Moving Castle is my all-time favourite film ever. Ever. By Studio Ghibli. And I picked this up when Lee and I went to the Studio Ghibli Museum while we were out in Tokyo. And if you're ever in Tokyo and you like Studio Ghibli, then I would super recommend that you go to the museum, because it was such a good experience, and I'd highly recommend it. You have to book it in advance. You can't just turn up. You have to pre-book your tickets for a specific day, but it's so worth going, and if you can arrange to go while you're over in Tokyo, I'd highly recommend it, because it's just a great experience, especially if you like Ghibli films. So we actually picked up 2 of these art books, and as the name would suggest, it follows the making of the film, the artwork for the film. The other one that we got was The Cat Returns, which is Lee's favourite Ghibli film, but I picked up Howl's Moving Castle, and it sort of starts from these early sketches, and then it moves into, so you can see this is kind of where the scene starts, and this is where it ends up. Oh, that's a nice one. Look at that, it's so pretty. It's just the artwork in these films. I mean, look at this. Look how intricate that is. It's just, I love this book, and it's all written in Japanese, so I can't read it, but I just don't care, because the art is it's just beautiful. It's honestly just stunning. I love just flicking through these books. So like, if I don't have time to watch the film, I will just flip through these books, and it just takes me to the film, and it's so comforting, and the artwork is so beautiful. And I mean, the talent that these animators have is just, it's just incredible. Like, this book is, I could show you every single page. I won't, but I could. I love looking through this, and I saved it for last because I think it is the prettiest book on my bookcase. I mean, even the cover, like, it's basic, but it's beautiful. I love it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of a different one. I hope it wasn't too boring, but I kind of just felt like showing you some of the artwork in some of these books that I really like and really enjoy looking at from time to time, maybe minus this one because it's not really my thing anymore, but I showed it to you anyway because it is super pretty. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see any more from me, then please do hit that subscribe button. I'd be super grateful, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks again. Bye.